Well, hello everyone. I'm out here pottying my blind dog Selina. It's not too bad today, kind of cloud cover. A little cool, but not too terribly bad. The wind's not blowing, so it ain't so bad. I wanted to get on here and tell you that Wyatt spent the night last night. He's still here. He's going to spend tonight again and go home tomorrow. Of course, Grandma's working this weekend, so he really ain't getting to spend time with her, but he's getting to spend quality time with Grandpa. Last night, Grandma went to bed early because she had to work today. She's still at work, matter of fact. We're waiting for her to get home. We're going to go out and eat pizza tonight at our friend's pizza place in Ottawa, Dan's Pizza. But anyhow, Wyatt hadn't seen my milker. He asked me what it was, and I explained to him it's milker to milk Avon. He said, "Oh, you don't have to milk her by hand no more?" And I said, "Nope." I said, "Got this milker." And I said, there's Selina. Anyways, I said, "I got this milker, so now I just milk her with the milker." And he said, "Oh, that's cool." And he asked me how it works, so I explained to him how everything worked on it and stuff. Explained the vacuum system, the vacuum on it, and how it operates the actual milker. Then we got talking, and I separated the milk. I strained it, and I separated it, got the cream, and then showing him the cream. He thought that was cool, which he knew I had separated cream before and stuff, but he just never watched the process. Anyhow, he went and was talking to me a little bit and learning. He was learning a little bit last night, and so then I asked him, I said, "Tomorrow you want to make some butter?" "Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll make some butter." He said, "How you do that?" And I said, "You use cream." "Oh, okay." Well, when I was taking my separator apart and washing it, I took the centrifuge part of the cream separator apart, and you pull that top piece off, and there's always a big buildup of cream on top after I'd spun the cream out. And I said, "Wyatt, come here." He come in the kitchen, and I said, "Here, try this." He said, "What is it?" And I said, "It's cream." I said, "That's out I'm taking it apart and washing out, but that's cream buildup, from when I separated the cream." So he wiped his finger on it, got some on his finger and tried it. And I said, "How is it?" He said, "Oh, it's good." He says, "It tastes like butter." I said, "It does?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, try some more." So he wiped a big old glob off the thing before I put it in the dishwater, and licked it off his finger, and he said, "Yeah, that tastes just like butter." I said, "Well, you know what that is? That's cream." But I said, it comes out of the milk. I said, "It's called butter fat." I said, "That's what the fat content of milk is, butter fat." And I said, "And that's what they use to make butter. It's the cream. Another name for cream is butter fat." And he said, "Oh, cool." And so I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's what you do. You take cream, and I says, you agitate it for a little bit, and it turns into butter." I said, "Tomorrow I'll teach you how to make butter." So this morning I got some cream out. I had a couple pint jars, so I ended up with a quart of cream and put it in a 2-quart jar. After I set it out on the counter, let it get to room temperature for a little bit. And then he sat there and shook it back and forth, and he made butter. So he had to try it out. He said, "I'm gonna make some toast." So he put some on toast. We'd put salt in it, salted it first. Got the buttermilk off of it, and I asked him if he wanted to try the buttermilk, and "Yeah, I'll try it." So he poured some in a glass. He drank the buttermilk warm. He said, "It tastes just like milk. It's good," he says. And I said, "Well, we'll save that buttermilk, and Grandpa will make you buttermilk pancakes for breakfast in the morning." "Oh, that'd be awesome, Grandpa." So in the morning, I'm making him buttermilk pancakes and sausage from my pig. I got sausage links in the freezer from the pigs we butcher. So that's what he's having for breakfast, is sausage links. And he had choice of bacon, but he says, "I really love sausage," so that's what he's getting for breakfast, is buttermilk pancakes with his homemade butter on top, and some syrup, and some sausage from our pig. But he, just a few minutes ago, I'm in the house doing a few things, and he says, "Grandpa," he says, "that butter is so good." He said, "I could just take a spoon and eat it." And I told him, I said, "Go right on ahead, grab a spoon and eat some." "No, I better save it for our pancakes tomorrow." I said, "Well, there's plenty there for our pancakes. So if you want a spoon of it just to eat, go right on ahead." And he said, "I'm going to get a few cashews and eat them. Maybe I'll try some butter here in a bit." So he's planning on taking a spoon and scooping some up and just eating butter. He's just like my Aunt April. She said she can do that too. She'll make fresh butter. She can just take a spoonful of it and eat it. I like butter, but not like that. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. I thought I'd tell you that story. See y'all later. And don't forget I love you. Bye.